And let me put this sideways. So there we go. That'll look better on the
A very
on the.
blurry car.
You can't know where I am. It's secret.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. So thanks so much for joining me today. I've got Jocelyn Hudon talking about The Sound, which comes to theaters and VOD on June 27, 2025. It is a climbing-based indie horror thriller that has a really fun cast, some really beautiful scenery, and some tense moments very high up. I am very excited to talk to you. So thanks so much for joining me.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So first question, like, how did you get involved in this film? Like, what about this script kind of spoke to you, and how did this come about? How did this project come about?
Through one of my agents, and I don't know if he pitched me with the rock climbing skills or how it really came to be, but he just kind of called me. He was like, "I have this movie," and I was like, "Yes, I'm there." And that was it. Yeah, I read the script. I loved it. It was an easy yes for me.
That's awesome. So, what? One thing I really loved about this movie is at the end they had all the people that were playing characters, and you saw their like real life persona. It seemed like most of them were some sort of like rock climbing or like sport, extreme sports or outdoor enthusiasts. So it sounds like you had some rock climbing experience as well. Like, was that is that kind of how this, you know, is that what spoke to you, or did you know some of these people before you got there?
No, I didn't know anyone before. I don't know if like me, yeah, I mean, I rock climbed my whole life. My dad taught rock climbing and my brother's like an amazing rock climber and I rock climbed and I taught rock climbing at a camp. I actually had this very interesting moment happen in LA. I taught rock climbing like a summer before I started university, so it was a long time ago. And I was in Air One in LA and this guy
Mhm.
behind me was like, "Joe Ropes." And I was like, what? And that was like my rock climbing name at this camp because you'd be like Joe Swim or Joe Canoeing, and I was Joe Ropes because I was the rock climbing girl. It was like a very interesting just world meeting. But yeah, I don't know exactly. Yeah, we're all just like active people who got this movie. So it was a great time.
That's awesome. I love how you said, a long time ago in university. It's probably a lot longer than when I was at university, but sweet of you to say something like that. But that's awesome. Also, like, what a small world, right?
It
Like,
was so because it was in Canada, and I'm like, we're at L in like an Air One in LA, and I'm like, Joe Ropes, like, whoa,
I mean, all that says is just how memorable you are, right? That person
yeah,
remembered
yeah,
you for that long.
yeah.
So, you said your agent sent you the script. Were you always set to play Dana? Were there other roles that you were considering, or was
Yeah,
it
it was
always?
always no, it was always Dana. Yeah, I think she'll be she maybe has like a more of a setup for the next if there is a sequel. I think she's gonna be like a good part of the sequel. But
The
yeah,
sound too, the sound
yeah,
too. It's louder. I
the
don't know.
sounds, many sounds.
Bigger sound. No, that's awesome. Yeah, I love that scene because I loved all the people that were there. How much time did you actually get to spend on set filming that scene? Because it was a pivotal scene, but also the rest of the movie was kind of after that point.
That was a full day. Yeah, yeah, it was like a full easy like a nice one. It wasn't like 4 a.m., but it was a great like full day of working with everyone. So you kind of got to know everyone really well and it was yeah, it was awesome.
That's awesome. And one of the people I loved seeing in that scene was Alex Honnold. Love Free Solo. He seems really interesting. What was he like? What was it like to film with him? And did you get to climb with him as well?
I did not, but I would love to. Actually, I don't know if I would want to embarrass myself in front of him, but I got the movie and they were like Alex is in it. He was in Free Solo and I was like, okay, yeah, I've heard of the documentary and I was like, I'm not gonna watch it. I don't want to be like a freak. Or too nervous or whatever. And then right before filming, I watched the movie. And I was like, night before, I was like, I'm gonna watch Free Solo. And then I met him the next day and I was like, just maximum fangirl. But he was very just like chill, happy to be there, awesome, very level-headed. He was great.
That does seem like his personality. It's kind of funny you watch it before. It probably would have been smarter, in hindsight, to watch it after, so you
Oh
just don't.
yeah, no, I wish I had not done that. I think I played it pretty cool. I was like, hey. Um, I tried to stuff down the awe.
You're like, hey, can we just climb this over here just
Hey,
quickly? As
Yeah,
That's awesome.
but I did watch it like right before meeting him. But it was really cool to work with him. And then you just kind of got to be like, no, yeah, whatever. If we're just coworkers. We're coworkers. He's not a living icon.
Perfect. And you mentioned maybe a sequel. Has there been any talk about that, or is this
I
just
don't
kind
know.
of
There's like
speculation?
whispers, sounds. Um,
All right. Well,
yeah,
we will listen for those
yeah,
sounds as well.
yeah.
So I know we have very limited time, so I'm going to switch to I call it the lightning round, just very lightweight questions about the film. Want to see if your personal experiences match things in the movie. Feel free to skip any of them. I won't be offended, but I try to keep them answerable. So you
Okay.
already mentioned that you rock climb. Do you free solo ever?
No,
Okay.
unless it's like I no, no, I boulder. That's it.
Okay. Yeah.
Like there's
Fair.
no
That's
rope
fair.
here.
This movie actually, kind of centers around some sort of family tragedy. Do you have any family tragedy in your past that you would reference?
No.
Excellent. Charmed life. Love it.
Yeah.
This movie is also all this about a very extreme hobby. You say you rock climb. Is that your most extreme hobby? Do you have another?
I think extreme wise, maybe scuba diving would be. I mean, I've like skydived and I don't do that frequently, but like the thing I do consistently that probably is the riskiest is probably scuba dive.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Sounds like you have a very fun, adrenaline-filled life, though. So I love
Yeah,
it.
I like adrenaline.
And last question. There was a scene where the crew were sleeping on the rock face, like in tents, which I don't know if I could ever actually sleep in that. What is the most dangerous place that you have slept? Is it on a mountain?
Ooh, I would love to do that. I think that would be, you'd just be like, don't fall. Like the whole the most dangerous place I've slept. Oh, I mean camping. I don't think I've slept anywhere crazy.
Well, that's fair. Yeah, I think I would be worried like if you roll in your sleep. Like that's a very big consequence if you roll in your sleep when you're on a
Yeah,
mountain. So
yeah, yeah,
well,
yeah.
awesome. So the movie is coming to theaters and VOD on June 27, 2025. You're up promoting the film, getting the word out. But after people see you in the sound, what can they look for next from you? Is there anything on the horizon you can talk about?
Yeah, next season 14 of Chicago Fire, I believe will come out in the fall. We start filming in a month in Chicago. And yeah, season 14 of Chicago Fire on NBC and Peacock.
All right. Well, there you go. So you can, wait for season 14 of Chicago Fire. But before that, check out Jocelyn Hudon and the Sound coming to the theater and VOD on June 27, 2025. This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.